Let's talk about how to input match results on the website. This is super important for anyone looking to host their own league and manage the results and standings. So from the home page here, you go ahead and click on that Blaster Tag Association in the top left. That'll take you to your dashboard. From there, you'll come down to events over here, click on that. And then up here in the top, you'll see Add New. You can click on that. And we're going to input a match from the Atomic Dart League as our reference here. So I already know which event I'm doing, so I went ahead and typed that up so I could just post it right in. I've got the league acronym, the game type, the season, the event, and the match. So important to note here really quick, events on the website are matches. So normally what we would call a match, if we wanted to like add a new match result, it would be add a new event. So for some reason they decided to go with events as singular matches rather than complete day events or things like that, how we may reference things in our hobby currently. So just keep that in mind when you're inputting things. So from here, what we will do is scroll on down and we'll go to our match day, which was 3/2/19. And then the match time, I don't really mess with this because it fluctuates and I didn't have the exact time for this, so I leave that empty. If it was something like King of the Hill or a game type where you know the exact time amount, you can put that in there. Moving on to league, scroll on down and find your appropriate league. This is Atomic Dart League, Ion Rush. And then we will do season. We have them set up by year. Scroll down to your league's season, Atomic Ion Rush Season 2. Now you notice for League there are some other options up here, like some greater areas. That may be something that we will have functionality for later in terms of like worldwide or region-wide standings, but right now it adds a little bit of bloat and we're not completely utilizing those, so just be aware that's why they're there, and hopefully we'll have a good purpose for them in the future. So moving on down, if your league has set teams and rosters and all that, your teams will have already been input and should be on this list. But the Atomic Dart League does a randomized match setup for their games, so each team roster is different for every single game throughout their game days. So because of that, to track stats and all those kinds of things, we just implemented ADL Red and ADL Blue. So we go ahead and put those up here. And all the players are on these rosters so that we can pick and choose whichever players were on each team for each separate match result. So I've got my match results over here on a nice spreadsheet that actually makes it very easy to input. So I'm going to take these numbers and use those to match up to the player rosters here and go from there. So we've got 29, 35, 117, 6, and 80 for the blue team. And then the red team is 78, 137, 38, and 777 with 12. Okay, so there's our rosters already done. What you'll do every single time is if you're running a league like this where you have randomized matches, for every single match you'll go through, you'll do this. If your team has set rosters, you'll still get these pop-ups or this kind of scrolling bar thing here with all the players on that roster. If there are players that weren't there for that match, you can make sure they aren't checked so that their stats aren't affected by those match results, things like that. So just always go through and take a look and make sure that the selected players are right and the teams are right and all of that. Specs, this is game 2 of their season 2. This is a feature that I was messing with, but I don't think we'll be continuing on with. For now though, I've got it up there. It may not be there for your league when you're inputting, just be aware. Also, the other couple things down here is a video URL. So once the video footage is posted from your event, if you take raw video footage and upload it to either your own YouTube channel or the BTA YouTube channel, you can link that here and it will show up on your completed match event so that you can actually watch footage from that match as you're looking through things, which I really like. So that's a neat feature that you can take advantage of. You can also set a featured image for that match if you took photos and wanted something representative of that match. So at this point, we've also got one more thing that we scrolled past, and that is the venue. The Atomic Dart League currently plays at Wolf's Indoor Soccer. If you haven't set an indoor or a venue for your league, you can leave it as not set, and don't worry about it. It's not a big issue, but currently we have that set for them there. At this point, you can either save draft or publish. They are going to accomplish almost the same thing. Publish will make it live with no results. Save draft lets you move on to the next step, and from there we can input our actual results. So we've got a few metrics here that we can work with. If you are doing Ion Rush or Quick Flag, you're going to take advantage of things like rounds 1, flag captures, potentially match point played, but let's go through and talk about these. So rounds 1, on the match results here, we can see that the red team won 2 rounds and the blue team won 0 rounds. So 0 for blue and 2 for red. Total time is not something that you would utilize for Ion Rush, Quick Flag, FTT Speedball, basically anything that isn't King of the Hill currently. So if you're playing King of the Hill and you're inputting results there, your total time for each team would go here, and then you could go right on to outcome, your win and loss. That's the only major metric we currently track, though we will be looking to add some things in the future for statistics tracking and stuff like that. So just be aware that's what we have now for that. But for Ion Rush, you would then move on to captured flags, and the red team captured 1 flag, the blue team captured 0 flags. In Ion Rush, every team that plays gets 1 total match point for playing that match, and that will go in there every single time. It isn't affected by whether you win or lose, it's always there, but that is only for Ion Rush, so keep that in mind. Rounds lost, the blue team lost 2 rounds and the red team lost 0 rounds. Total points, this is going to be the rounds won plus flag captured plus match played point. So for the blue team, they only had 1 of those. They get 1. The red team had 2 round wins, 1 flag capture, and their match played point. So they have a total of 4. Total points, we have a loss for the blue team because they have 1 and the red team has 4. So they are the winners. That will generate all your results and then add them to the standings for your league once you have a player list set up for all of that. A couple of things for things like format, competitive when it's a league thing, and we will change to tournaments when you have a tournament result and you don't want it to affect potentially certain other things. And this is of course team versus team, as we are playing 5 versus 5. So from there we can hit publish and we can view our event. And there we have our event finished. It has our scores. It has the date it was input, the match day, which is the more important metric there, the league, the season, and the game in which the season was. We have our venue, nice little map of where it is, the box score results that we input, and our player rosters that you can go ahead and click on any of their names and go see their player profile. So that's going to do it for this. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions for inputting games of whether it's Ion Rush, King of the Hill, Quick Flag, Squad Supremacy, anything, let me know. Always happy to help and get you moving along to where your league has its standings and player profiles and all of that up and ready on the website.